Last night I had to drive my face to Plano, Texas until 1 in the morning to get this information so that I can tell you for free. You didn't have to do nothing to get it. I was showing up. Yes. Anyway, so these are, you ever like tell somebody to do stuff and then they do the exact opposite? Like, aren't we like that a little bit like humans? We just like, mom's like, don't eat candy, just buy a whole bag, right? So, this guy was like, let's just try that, right? Let's just coach you to do the exact opposite and see what happens.
Yeah.
You're in the water.
It's like, hey, how would you act if you were giving the wrong advice? So bullet points. If you're gonna take these down, they're bullet points. Make sure, number one, Claire, remember? Claire knows them all. Claire was with me yesterday. Number one, read a lot of books and make sure you don't apply anything. So all of you guys reading books, make sure you're having the same problems every time.
Wait. Is there something I missed before this?
No, you didn't miss anything. It's the wrong advice meaning.
Oh, the wrong advice means that's what I was missing.
But like sometimes we do this unconsciously. So look, this is so funny. Read books and don't apply anything, right? Make sure you're reading books and spending all your time, and make sure it's a wasted time, right? Don't apply anything. It's a sarcastic approach to growth, right? Take advice from broke people on how to be rich.
Is that number two?
Number two, yes sir. Take advice from broke people on how to be rich. Let broke people, like, allow them to speak into you. Allow people with no finances, no financial success, allow them to give you advice. It's funny. It's funny. The guy was said yesterday. So funny. He's like, yeah, like when you explain people this business, like the people that are doing well financially, like rich people or people that are building something, entrepreneurs, when you explain this business, like, yeah, I'm building this business, man, I'm going door to door, I'm building a team. Rich people, they're like, what do they say typically? They're like, where to go? You guys have like a, yeah, rich people are like, dude, that sounds, they're not like telling you, oh, that's a pyramid. They don't, rich people, they're like, oh, that sounds like you're hustling, and they're like, way to go. It's only, think about it, it's only the broke guy that when you tell him, man, I'm going door to door, it's the broke guy that works at the pharmacy or that works at whatever that tells you, oh, you're doing that thing door to door like the pyramid, oh yeah, one of those things, yeah, they're scamming you, yeah, the boss makes all the money, like his boss doesn't. But it's only the broke guy that says that. When you guys talk about the job, you ever have a family reunion and you had to talk about your job and maybe you were embarrassed? I was for my first year. When I was an owner, it changed, then I wasn't. But when I was first asked about the job, surrounded by my friends, that I come from a background where I didn't have rich friends at all. Until I went to college and I found 2 or 3 of them. I didn't have rich friends, and like they would say that I'm building a team. I'm like, oh, is that one of those like multi-level like things? Oh! And now I think about it, like, yeah, it's only the broke people. Like the people with money, they were always like asking me questions. They're like, really? Like, what do you do? Tell me about it. I'm like, now I think about it. Think back. Do you guys? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You guys have people like that? Anybody got somebody in your life that is like excited that you're doing this? Like you have a supportive person? Are they like on the grow, or a person at least with entrepreneurial thoughts?
Yeah.
And they're like, or like your dad. Like think about, would your dad, if you had a daughter, would you want her to, be doing something like this unless you knew the good effects of it? I certainly wouldn't. I put my sister here. For you guys that were here, I think Aman trained her for a day. My sister, she's Aman's age, and she came here to visit for a week. She thought she was going to be on vacation.
From Spain?
From Spain, yeah. She came here to visit from Spain for a week, and I put her in the field for 2 days. And And I'm like, oh, you're gonna work. She's like, you take me shopping, Rich? And I'm like, with your money. And she came here and she did 0 the first day and 2 the second day and no orientation or anything, and she got bit by 119 mosquitoes. It was nasty. In July, it was very hot. But anyway, so just remember to continue to take advice from broke people on how to be rich. Let them nurture your thoughts. Number 3, this one might touch you there, so anyway, pick a girlfriend or boyfriend that makes you feel guilty about building a business. Make sure you pick that one, person that makes you feel guilty. Make sure you pick a boyfriend or girlfriend that you have to ask for permission instead of support. Ooh, that's silence. Hey, and it says a recap on this one, like an arrow that goes down from this one. It's like, hey, make sure you put your financial future in their hands, right? Make sure to put your own financial future into your boyfriend's or girlfriend's hands. Super good advice. Oh my gosh, isn't this good?
Yes, great advice.
Like, think about it like this, like girlfriends, boyfriends that are supportive or unsupportive, like, the point is not that they're supportive of the business, of the job itself. The point is that, are they supportive of you? Like, you've taken the choice to do this. Would you think about it rationally, right? Even if you haven't done it in the past, hopefully you have not, but if your girlfriend had a job, whatever the job is, that like they really wanted to do, well, the fact that they're doing it means they want to do it. Like, would you not like support her or him? Like, regardless of the job. So like, sometimes people are like, they quit the business, they're like, well, my husband didn't like me to do this. It's like, your husband is not supporting you. Like, you're gonna go to another job and your husband's gonna find another reason. Your husband's just as insecure. This is what is the unsaid stuff that we don't say because it's like, might be too harsh to say, but like, really you just have a husband that is insecure about himself and needs you to be home to make sure that you're not doing anything that he's probably doing. Is that itchy? Is that kind of true?
Super.
And we don't say that, and like, applies to wife or whatever, right? It doesn't matter. Like, we've all been there, and if you've had a person like that, like, it's okay. Like, we grow, right? Like, the whole point, at least you understand. Look, he got allergic of them.
I did.
So anyway, make sure, so just, recapping the advice there, make sure you pick a person to be with you, a partner that makes you feel really guilty, and you constantly have to ask for their permission and instead of their support. Please God, bring me one of those, right? All right, number next. What was it? I don't know where we're at. Okay. This one's a great advice right here, and really take this one into heart. Fail once and then quit forever.
Ooh.
And then quote unquote, I guess this is not for me. You ever hear people, they quit once, get one door wrong, they do one interview wrong, they lose money as an owner once. Like, this might not be for me. Dude, we've seen owners work. You know how hard you gotta work to be an owner? Ask these guys. You gotta work so hard, like you never thought you had so much work in you. You know, Alante feels he's 36 in terms of work. And he's 25. How old are you, bro? 25. But he feels like he's worked an extra. He's been working here for it's gonna be a year next month. And it feels like in terms of hours like it's been at least 3 minimum. So he's really 28, right? So just make sure you adopt this mindset and then please and pass it on to your team. Like, hey, fail once and quit forever. Don't try again. All right. Next one. Assume the world should be fair. Hey, the world should be fair. That person has this. Me too. Isn't that a good one?
Yeah.
Well, that person has money. Well, me too. Or that person got interviews. Or that person got a sale. Or that person got a territory. Or that person got whatever. Or they come, like people that are like broke people that are like come from like, and this is like, there's people that come from the ghetto, and then there's people that grow out of it. And coming from the ghetto does not mean you are conditioned to not be successful. Don't you guys know like some of the biggest successful people in the world, they come from the hood? Eric Thomas is one of the best motivational speakers, and you've never heard of him. Anybody knows Eric Thomas? Is the best motivational speaker by far. I think out of all the black, specifically motivational speakers, he is the number one, right? The people that people buy tickets for thousands of dollars to go hear him speak. If you haven't seen him, like you YouTube him, like he's gonna wake you up. But he always said that, right? The world is not fair. The world is not fair. Like it's just not gonna be fair. It's gonna mess you up. It's gonna fuck you up a little bit. It's gonna hurt you. And you can always go back and say like, well, I'm just from the hood, so like that's my reason. Oh well, I grew up like this. Well, I did not grow up like this. So by default, so I can justify my actions being shitty, or I don't understand my downline because I'm from the ghetto and they're like this pampered person. So that's why I am allowed to be shitty. That makes no sense. You know who's from the ghetto? Your boy Tommy over there. He's from the ghetto. Ask him. How was he doing? He's doing it in his 20s. Maybe don't ask him. Hey, but you can grow out of it. You know, one day he's like, damn it, like, am I either gonna be a hero for my 4 kids or I'm gonna be in prison? Like, it's just, there's one of the two. So, anyway, make sure you assume the world should be fair and just make sure you walk entitled through the world, right? Like, give me.
Yes, gimme.
Give me. Next, blame your circumstances. Blame your circumstances. If you're not sure what to do, look around and blame that. And, oh, that's wrong. You know, point the finger. It's their fault. Oh, territory. Nestle Water, since 1856, you know, not sure if they're being successful, sent me to a territory to fail on purpose. It's Spanish speakers in Fort Worth, America. You go to Mexico and see if they agree. It's only Spanish speakers. Anyway, make sure you blame your circumstances, blame your upline, blame your downline when you have some. Blame your crossline too. Like people blame their crossline. Like, well, Dion got this, so it's Dion's. Dion didn't send the territory, so Dion. Let Dion alone. Oh, this one's good. This is the next one. Expect the government to save you.
Yes, let's
Expect those little stimmies, they called them yesterday. The stimmies. They ain't no more stimmies. Anybody was, let's be honest, anybody got on the couch and got the stimmies?
Nope.
It's like, let
I
me collect them.
I didn't get it.
You guys didn't get a stimmy then? That's
I got it on my
Nope,
taxes.
I worked.
I got
my taxes.
I worked too.
I
I got it on my taxes.
I got the stimmies. I was also working though, but I got it. I just didn't say I was working, but I was. Anyway, make sure you expect the government to save you, right? It's gonna come the perfect president that's gonna put money in your pocket for you to put no effort, and it's gonna be enough money that you're gonna make for free that you're gonna have vacation time, and you're gonna be going to the grocery store whenever you want, and you're not gonna be worried about money. You're about the new J's through the government. Okay, this one's really good. You guys ready? You guys liking this or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, this one's really good. It's super true. Really good advice. Make sure you value the opinions of others over your own.
Ooh.
Love it,
Ow.
Richard.
Yeah.
I can do that real good.
Value, and here's how you know you valuing other people's opinions is you just don't take any action. Like the person that's like wondering, and we see that in the business a lot, and it's not like when you see this in people, it doesn't mean they're not gonna grow out of it, but it's exactly what's happening. When you value somebody else's opinion instead of your own, this is the leader that is not growing, that is constantly stuck at a point they're not seeing any progress, like 0% progress, right? Because they're valuing, like they're still doing this, but they're like valuing somebody else's opinion, so it doesn't make sense. You know, it's like, for example, and again, it's painful to say it, don't take me wrong, but like, there's people that show up to the meetings at 8:30. like some of you guys and some other people, and it probably was me at one point. It was people that show up to the meetings and like they don't do anything. It's like you're not taking any advantage. You're not like your sales keep sucking. It's like continuously. So it's like it's painful to see. We're gonna try to help you. You know what I mean? It's like you're here. You're investing the time. It's like buying a concert ticket and not going, but not asking for a refund. It's like it's cringing. That means you're valuing somebody else's opinion over your own, or you're just not listening. So make sure you keep doing that. The next one is, anybody heard the word fallacy? You guys know what that means? Fallacy, lie. It means lie, fallacy, F-A-L-A-S-Y. So this is the when blah, 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 then I'll blah, 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 fallacy. I'll give you an example. When I make more money, then I'll save more money. When I have time, I'll go to the gym. When whatever, then I'll do whatever. It's cap, yes. It's all a lie, right?
You spelled it.
F-A-L-A-S-Y. Fallacy, I think, or C-Y. C-Y. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But anyway, it's funny, right? Like, oh, here's a good one. A leader's like, when I have a team, then I'll do that. like, hey, you didn't send the territory, or hey, you didn't show up early, or hey, you didn't you're not being consistent in the field at all, or hey, you're not networking. Like, you can have a day in the field that's better or worse, but like, are you aggressively seeking help? Number 2 of the 8 steps is your personal sales. Like, do we have to chase you down to fix your own self? Like, and like, there's people that are like, I'm thinking always like, if you had 10 people in your team, would you do this? It's like, no, but I don't have 10 people in my team. It's like, whenever I'm an assistant manager, I'll clean up my email. No, like, when I am an owner, I'll be worried about my interviews. No, you gotta worry about your interviews now. It's a lie. The biggest one is that one, the money one. Like, when I make more money, I'll save money. Not true. When you make more money, if you're not saving money, if you make $100 a month, you should save 10. If you don't do it, then whenever you make $1,000 a day, you're going to spend $1,000 a day. It's worse. You don't think so, but like, it's worse to be broke and make a lot of money than actually be broke with no money. Because I think we talked about it yesterday. Like, if you've never had enough money and you just broke, then you're just used to it. It's like, I'm not disappointed when you see your shoes, the same shoes 4 years ago. But when you're rich and you make $5,000 a week and you spend $5,000 a week, like, you might be surrounded with cool things and toys, but it feels worse. Ask a person. You might be like, well, I wish. No, you don't. We just haven't been there yet. Okay, another great advice for the ungrowing. Avoid discomfort. So whenever you see discomfort, you guys know what I mean? When you see the comfort zone, stay in. Lock yourself in, get a blanket. Avoid discomfort, right? If Tommy or your upline, anybody tells you something to kind of stretch you a little bit, makes you a little uncomfortable, avoid it. This is all sarcasm, please. Don't like actually take this seriously. You remember the meeting. Remember the point of the meeting? Next one. Tolerate mediocrity from yourself and from others. Like, you see your team or yourself, like, you're doing mediocre things. You're doing things like kind of halfway, you kind of halfway do the building, halfway do the field, halfway do the interview. Just tolerate that. Make sure it's tolerated. It goes a long way. Next, make promises and break them. Make promises to your kids and break them. Make promises to your girlfriend and break them. Make promises to your team, make promises to yourself, and make sure you don't get them done. Good advice, huh? This is the last one out of these. There's a ton more, but this is the last one. This is probably the biggest one. biggest, best advice you'll probably hear, and you can probably know some friends that they can use it. Make sure you prioritize looking rich versus being rich. Make sure you look rich, like the Gucci belt. Make sure the nails are damn long. Like the expensive ones. Don't prioritize actually being rich, like actually having, 40 grand in your savings account. That's cap. Make sure you have nothing in your savings account, but you're driving 2023 Toyota Combo with $550 a month and the newest Bluetooth phone. The music connects from your home. Slippers are attached to the pedals. Make sure you look rich, right? How many you guys know people that really prioritize looking rich? Like their shoes are always new. Now they don't have money to like go to lunch. Shoes are new though. You guys have friends like that or no?
Yes.
What about purse, right? Purse is like new purse. Or what about like their hair? Like their appearance, right? It's like make sure I look good, but then it's like, hey, I forgot my wallet. You got $10? Like, no, you don't have $10. What are you doing with your life that you don't have $10? What do you mean? Where were you been? Right? So that one is a really, really good one. It will go a long way for you. Prioritize looking rich instead of being rich. It's just a success principle. What do you guys think of these?
I love
I
that.
like them.
I think I'm definitely gonna live by everything.
And listen, like I always tell people, like, hey, we do a tough job. Like, no doubt, okay, going door to door. This is not an easy job. Can you still be rich and do other things? Absolutely, okay. I only learned. For me, it's just I learned this business. It was I saw it more of the field was really where I thought that was my job, and everything in the office for me was like a school. I'm like, dude, I paid more to go to school, and I didn't get that kind of information. And that's what I was like. For me, the business was like, it was like a talent area place where I'm like, dude, I'm getting talented and I'm learning things that I was like pissed. I'm like, man, I'm 24 and nobody ever told me what passive income is, or that I can actually make money while I'm sleeping, and it's okay. You're allowed to actually make money more than like whatever Indeed posts. So have you ever seen an ad on Indeed that's like $480 an hour? No. Have you ever seen an ad for a job that, hey, $480 starting, career builder? No. But that's actually how much you would have to make $100,000 a year. Did you know that? Are there people that make $100,000 a year?
Yeah.
They are, plenty. They just don't apply for the career builder regular job that mom and dad wants to apply. They do odd things. For me, this was my odd thing. But it's totally possible to make $100,000 a year. It's totally possible to make $100,000 a month. It's just not gonna be like in the masses. Okay, so now I'll give you some other ones. These are not sarcastic ones, but meant to follow up and more on the serious note right now. Is it okay? Can I tell you guys some more stuff?
Yes.
Okay. A success principle, and this is, you can take it or leave it or not, but if you're like, hey man, I don't have, but you can just automate it. But if you wanna genuinely be rich, no matter how hard you struggle in your life, okay? A success principle is get 10% of your paycheck, give it away. Just give. Like this guy yesterday, what was his name? Sam Knight, man, so good. He's like, the right people give unconditionally. He was like, hey, if you get started in the business, this was the guy says to his people, to his team. Hey, if you get started in the business, I am the best leader you'll ever have. Like he believed that. I am the best leader you'll get. He said like, hey, do you think your results are gonna be ridiculously high? And it's like almost not expected. Like I remember coming here and I was like hoping like Chang's gonna like make me a rich person, man, because I had no traits or qualities of a rich person, and not financially, just rich, just actually rich in other things too. I didn't have any traits, so I kind of showed up like, is Chang going to make me that person, you know? And like, I want you to think about it like this, and I want you to adopt this mindset to your team. Like, hey, if the results you expect are ridiculous, but hey, like the way if you're in my team, the way I will serve you is also ridiculous. And just be a giver. Just focus on being a giver. If you're on the give, you're gonna get a lot of stuff. Now, when you're on the take, Think about it like this. Think about it. Forget business, right? Like just in relationships. So have you had relationships with family or even like actual like, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse that like you're on the take, like you expected something like, hey, by the time I get home, I told her or told them like this has to be done. Like you're on this like take attitude, like I need to take that, and you expected something. Most of the times you get disappointed, didn't you? So just give so much that is ridiculous. This is what the guy was saying. He's like, hey, you start on my team. Hey, you're Iman, you start on my team. You're going to be just so overwhelmed because of how much I give you, and I never ask for anything in return. Like I'm gonna be so vulnerable. You can hit me so hard because you're gonna know me so much because of how much I'm giving you. Think about that leader. Do you think bad things will happen to that leader? So giving is being on offense. When you're giving to your team and you're getting hurt and you're getting the wrong team sometimes and they're trying to take advantage or whatever, but you keep giving and giving and like the wrong thing to do is like you give and then you hire up and then they mess you up and then you hire up 3 new people and you're like you judge and be like, oh, the last team did this to me, so now I'm not gonna no, you guys figure it out. I'm not gonna get hurt again. Dude, just be on the give. Be on the give. Just be a giver. You have extra money. Dude, you stop by the red light, and I'm not telling you, I don't want you to think like, well, Richard, you have more money, so you can do that. Like, no. It's just a concept, okay, that I want you to try to. You see a guy on the red light, and you can give him money, and you know you got $1 there or 2 or some coin, give it to him. Normally, the mediocre brain, the poor person, here's what they think. The poor person, by the way, poor is, what is it, Claire? Poor? Passing over opportunities repeatedly. That's what poor means. The poor person sees the homeless guy at the light, and the poor person says, they're in jeans, they're actually wearing good clothes, they actually don't need money, I'm not gonna give them anything. Why you gotta have that attitude? You know what, that might be true, but that's not the point. You ever thought that? I've thought that. Anybody thought that before? I've thought that. I'm like, man, I got better clothes than me on. You thought that. That's it. The attitude is of a taker. You see what I mean? Would you agree? Dude, just be a giver with your team. If you don't have a team, just be a giver to your cross line. Serve people. It's a success principle. Give 10% of your paycheck away. Just if your paycheck is out of the top of your check, if your paycheck is $1,000, 10%. Give 100 to somebody. Just give it to somebody, to a homeless, to a church, to your cousin that's broke, to your mom. Just give it away. Like, if you can't afford it now, here's the problem, right? If you can't, you're like, I can't afford it. If you can't afford it now, you won't do it later. Everybody can live on, you can live on 90% of your paycheck, regardless how low it is. Okay, if you're already broke, you're broke anyways. If you're already broke, consider the fact that you're just not giving. Your attitude is to take. And that might actually be the reason why you're, you ever see people that they just get lucky? Oh, that person, I got lucky. No, but so now I want you to think about that person like, hey, did they actually give? Did they give themselves away? Did they give, a pat on the back to somebody? Did they go out of their way? They probably did that. There is no such thing as luck. Luck is the excuse of the broke person. Oh, they got lucky. Just give, bro. And I'm not telling you like if you obviously you're smart enough. I'm not. Hey, donate here to Richard Anderson's foundation. No, just give. I don't care where you go. I don't want to make any money off of it. It's like I've learned that when you give, stars line up, things start to happen, and for some reason, man, you get lucky. Or it might not be financially, but that guy shows up in your team. That you go from 2 leaders on your team. Think about it like this, dude. All of you here, you're 4 sharp people away from being in a company and never have to apply to a job in your life again. 4 sharp people start today. And you might be here questioning yourself and like, I don't know if I can do this. This is like, it takes so much out of me. But dude, if you can do 4 good interviews, 4 sharp new guys will fix your entire life forever. But you're not gonna get those new guys come on your team. You might think that too. Oh my God, lucky Alante, he got Magali on his team. Magali's just a high roller, where Alante doesn't even have to say hello to her. And he's a high roller. No. Alante fought the devil like every day. And he was there at the right time with the right attitude. Magali walked in and Alante got the interview. It was not a coincidence. Did I assign the interview or Tommy? Yeah, probably we did, but it was, does that make sense?
Yes.
Like there's no such thing. Like if you look at other people's teams, like, oh, they got this person on their team. It's like, it's not, you got, your team is exactly where it is because of just solely you. And people get teams because they are givers. Anyway, it's just a success principle. So hey, when you are challenged, here's how you know you're growing. If you're challenged, if you're actually growing, you will feel lonely. You will feel like you don't have support. You know who will probably be there supporting you? Your upline. Probably. Your upline, because your upline be like, you're doing good because I was there. I was there, that feels shitty. Let's go to dinner, Dwight. Let's go to dinner, Brad. Anyway, anybody seen here Tracy take a day off ever? No. His dog yesterday, poor dog, like was bleeding like gallons. It was like so bad, and like he asked me like, Richard, can I, go with my family? They're like, it's like a dog problem. If you're brand new and you come up with a dog problem, I'd probably tell you, yeah, go fly a kite. A dog. But I know Tracy. He's given so much. Would you agree? I know as a brand new owner, he's not going to be able to take 2 hours off. So I'm like, while you're still here, go take the time you need. Go help your family, because he's a giver. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Anyway, expect the best in yourself and expect the best out of others as well. Expect the best out of you. Some of you guys have like ridiculous standards, and you're like, for you doing 4 is like awesome, and it's like actually okay. It's like low. For you to do 3, you're upset. I know this from Key because he's exactly like me when I started. Like I knew I would do 3, and I know that would be accepted in the crowds, but I knew in my heart, like for me doing 3, like I knew I was a 9 in the field, and some people never get there, and that's okay. You don't have to do 9 every day to be successful here. But dude, if you have it in you to do 9, it pisses you off to not do it. And you can see Key's face every time he does 3. It's like the person that done 0 for a week. They look the same than when Key does 3. Key's pissed at $1,000 check. Does that make sense? Anyway, sorry Key for using that. But the point of that was expect the best out of yourself, dude. Expect it also from others. When is the last time you went to a conversation to your cross line? Okay, not even your down line, but imagine just to your cross line, just to your buddy across from the table, and instead of like gossiping or asking about, tell me a story from yesterday, or you listen in into like how much your day sucked yesterday, and like people here unconsciously share stories about, they justify themselves of why I didn't do well yesterday, and you talk about like the story of the one customer that, their cart failed, or the lady chased you, or the dog, or somebody yelled at you. It's like the one person out of the 40 you're supposed to get. And like we tune in to listen to that. When is the last time instead you challenge the cross line back and say, hey man, let's how about we quit complaining? Could you have done better yesterday? Could you have put more effort? But that's like an uncomfortable thing to say, right? Dude, but it pays so much more. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up, let you guys go, do your thing. Time, okay? Time. Here's time. If you're like, I don't have time. Here's how you do time. If you don't carve out time of your personal life, I know you guys all have a very extreme, demanding job, and the reason I know is because I've done it too. It is demanding. It is demanding. It is also exhausting physically. I really believe, and I think you guys are smart enough to understand, like anything that's kind of worth it, you're going to end up exhausted.
Right.
I still have not found a job that you work 2 hours a day with no experience and you make, $10,000 an hour. Like, it doesn't exist because we'd be all applying there. If you don't carve time out of your day for your business, for your personal development, for your books, audios, if you don't carve time out, your business won't be built. Like you won't build this thing. There's a reason why there's books included in the packet. Like we have to make a leadership packet, a leadership notebook that half of you really use, and there's bullet points, and it says in qualifications, it says like if you do these metrics, you get promoted. And it's true, but like a lot of things hit the metrics, you can't get promoted for another month or 2. And it's like, hey, you can get mad at me, man, or I can just tell you the truth. Like if you remember what my job is, like it's in my best interest for Alante to get promoted. and for you to get promoted. It's in my best interest. So why would I hold somebody back? Think about it. Does it make sense? It doesn't. If you're smart, it doesn't make sense. If you're mad and then it does make sense. At that point. So anyway, if you don't carve out the time to like read, your business is not going to be built. It just won't. Ellen was done telling me. Sometimes cutting ties. You guys know what I mean by cutting ties? Sometimes cutting ties with people that love you, it's actually love. Like sometimes separating yourself from that person and your family, sometimes this could be your mom. And cutting ties with somebody that's just bringing you down is actually loving them. Because you can get back to them in 10 years and buy them a house. But they won't do it for themselves to save their lives. Another way you can look at your money, okay? Whatever money you're making, some of you guys have a better situation financially, some of you don't. Here's what I would do with your money. I could probably tell you if you're going to be an owner in the next year or not by looking at your bank account. If you print your bank statements, maybe not year, but 6 months, 4 months. Print your bank statements and you show me where your money's going. I can tell you if you're gonna be an owner. Because people always use their money to feed whatever's important to them. And that could be it's typically either your immediate gratification, you're either spending money on your immediate needs and wants, or your delayed one. Does that make sense? So if I'm spending money, majority of my money goes to fast food. Is this immediate or delayed?
Immediate.
If a lot of my money is going to like team nights and books, is this immediate or delayed?
Delayed.
Delayed, right? And it's a transition we make. So the last thing I'll let you guys go because Tommy needs to say something, is feed your future, not your flesh. You guys know what I mean by that? Flesh means like your immediate manly, girly desires. How do I explain flesh, Claire?
Like the instant gratification.
Your instinct of what do you want to spend your money on. Feed your future. Spend,
Gluttony. Gluttony.
Never heard that word.
Being a glutton.
Like, it's one of the 7 deadly sins. Like too much is wrong.
Yeah. So like don't worry about the swimming pool in the apartment. Like the fact that that's what I mean, right? Like the fact that you are worried about a swimming pool in an apartment that does not belong to you speaks about your level of finances. You're in the wrong side. Would you agree? Most people are on the wrong side, but the fact that you guys took this job is because you wanted a little bit more than just a paycheck, hopefully. No?
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's make money. It's important to make money. We gotta pay the bills, right? Giselle, is it okay to make $1,000 a week? Giselle knows it's okay. But you guys wanted a little bit something extra, or if not, you would have not showed up here. Would you agree? Well, let the business change you. Let the business change you. Stop, like a lot of you guys that if you're struggling, it's because you're like, I want the business to change me, but at my convenience. It's not gonna be convenient. I tell most of you guys the extra mile just because it's a habit of mine. But I know if I get 3 people a year to listen to everything I say, and I promote 3 offices a year, I'm gonna be a billionaire. And I only need 3, and we hire 20 a week. So I only need 3 really, for the year. I'm not gonna stop telling you that, but I believe you can do it. So anyway, assume the best, not the worst. Run your race in life. Here's the last thing. Run your race in life. Like start running towards like your career goal. Just start running. Forget about who's there. Just run. And when you're running, look on the side and see who's there. You probably left some people behind, but just run your race in life. Alante's running his race in life. He's like, damn it, who's there? And you even be like, and I know you're probably like, Mom, hang tight. I want you. But you're running quick, right? And you're like, Mom? I call Alante's mom so that she could come to the promotion. I'm like,
This is a funny phone call.
I'm using like all my books, all my people skills. But she doesn't like me. I think it's because I'm white. And I don't know. I already love her because I'm like, you gotta be a good parent to raise this guy. Has a huge heart, so I already like her. But I call Alante's mom and I'm like, hey, we're gonna promote Alante and blah blah. And I think he'd love you to be here. And she's like, well, wait, why are you guys even doing this? Why you guys gotta send my son to California? Do you know, like, if it wasn't for me, my son wouldn't do this. They give me a list of things of how she helps her son. I'm like, and then I realized she was not asking me a question or anything. She was just letting me know. And I'm like, thanks. Like, she can see her son running. And why you gotta go to California? I'm like, ma'am, I promise you, like, Alante wants to go. No, I'm not like sending him. I promise you he wants to go. And I promise you, I told her, I'm like, I promise you, your son's gonna make 6 figures and he's gonna take care of you. I promise you, so you better. Then you put me to be a liar. And it was so funny, like I can see how like the mom's like having to like, because she comes from a different background and she's had a different lifestyle, and Alante is gonna be probably the first, rich person in his generation and in his family, and his mom is like upset, like she's having to like, let me change put these running shoes on, and she's doing it with that attitude that we all have when we're not used to stuff, but you have to because it's your child. You parents, you understand? Like, damn it, my son's gonna be rich. Well, I'm going. I'm gonna go with this like attitude, but I'm going. Yeah, she's like changing and putting her shoes on to run with Alante. She's running, but like looking at him like, I don't want to run. But he's like, keep going, Mom. I know it's the right stuff. Please, let's go. You got a grandson. I'm gonna help. And it's so funny to see. So run your race, start running quickly, and then look on the sides and see who's there. And those are the people that you really should listen, you really should value. And don't be sad for the people that be left behind. You can always finish the race and come back and get them. But you can't come back and get them in the middle of the race and you're gonna lose like them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So, be productive.
Cheers.